Okay. Doing next week, uh, which is fine. Welcome back, Guardians. It is Friday. We're going to go find Zur. I believe he's going to be at the tower this week. Oh man, it's so boring. So I finally got this from the season pass, the free-to-play track. I'm not sure how this is going to work out, but I want to have at least some strand in my inventory because I'll get bounties that require the elemental damage. First, let's go take a look at Shaxx. I'm still ranking him up this week. It's double rep, so I'm taking advantage of that.
Tell me, you don't fear Vanguard operations? Do you fear the Crucible? Hopefully, this is as sturdy as you are.
Alright.
There's a love of the fight in you, I think. Come back.
Yeah, I don't know. Spamming Rumble because it's the fastest mode is a little soul crushing. Okay, so let's take a look here because Banshee's rotation is daily, which is great. I wouldn't be so surprised about this. This is not a really good roll. I don't really like Osmosis. This is good, especially if you're running grenade builds. Although you don't need it for reloading the sword, because swords, well, actually, this is a glaive. Sorry, my bad. So yeah, this would actually be perfect, especially with accretized rounds. And let's see. Oh, light emitter down. You know, this is not bad. This is not bad. I think you could probably you could probably craft this. So you might want to just think about that. This is another craftable. And I believe it does actually have these perks too. And let's see. Tarantula, firmly planted, and snapshot sights kind of goes against each other. Snapshot sights implies that you're on the hoof. Firmly planted is obviously the opposite. Let's see. Ricochet rounds. You never want to walk away from ricochet rounds. Polygonal is okay if you need handling, but this is a scout rifle, so handling is not really going to be your thing. You're setting up. See, that's the thing I don't really like about the gunplay too much in the game, is that, you could 360 no-scope with snipers legitimately without hacks or anything else. And there's a lot of weapons that are meant to be, on the run, like SMGs are on the run. Auto rifles are on the run. Shotguns can be on the run. Sidearms are on the run. Rocket launchers, no. Swords, yes. This scout rifle, not really. So why give yourself such a massive handling? I don't like hipfire sniper rifles. It never really does anything for me. Linear rifle, submachine gun, and an auto rifle pulling down void weapons. So linear firing rifle, that would be this guy. Submachine gun and an auto rifle, which I would do there. And I'll just have to pick up the void off of something else, which is not a big deal. Alright, so that's Banshees. Pretty good. I'd say the standout would be the Nezerax. If you don't have a crafted version, that's a good roll. Glaives are not as strong in the Crucible as they used to be, but I do still see them played quite often. Pretty much anything's good in Vanguard. And you have mixed results with Gambit because it is the mid-ground. You're going to have to deal with low ammo count, Crucible levels of ammo dropping, and Crucible levels of damage output. So you're probably looking for something with a high impact and a good target acquisition. Alright, so Nozer here. I guess he's going to be EDZ. Let's go track his ass down. And truthfully, I probably won't be buying anything from him. Namely because, I don't want to waste my shards on it. And also, he very rarely has anything that stands out to me anymore. I haven't touched any dares. I really should get back into it. It's a fun activity. It can be lots of fun. Alright, here we go. Based on the cluster of names up there, I would say I chose right. Yep, there's a bunch of sparrows down here too. Okay. The reason why I like to do this kind of preamble before I start my playlist is because it lets me know what the game's doing as far as connecting me to the rest of the environment and other players. That's weird. I would have thought, but I guess not. Okie dokie, then we're going to Nessus. Watcher's Grave. That's surprising. Honestly, truthfully, really surprising. Oh my god. I was going to look something up on the internet. I brought it all up and everything, and I'm completely out of my mind. So yeah, breakfast, bologna and cheese sandwich. I did not use American. I used the last 2 slices of the sharp cheddar, which was getting ready to revolt in the refrigerator and take the rest of the fucking crisper with it, or cheese drawer with it. So, yeah, I don't know. As I gotten older, and I guess susceptible to nostalgia more, American cheese, Kraft American Singles was my go-to for school lunches and just afternoon lunches. And I mean, for me, summertime is quite literally a bologna and cheese sandwich, heavy with the mayonnaise, some chopped or sliced onions, and the tomato. Believe it or not, and I think I'm going to actually talk the family into letting me make that for a supper once the weather starts to really warm up. Okay, take a look in here. Graviton Ants, everybody knows it. Gorpheus Riggs, these are not good stats. These are good stats. This is good. More orbs from supers, casting barricade heals. It would be better if that resilience was in place of the discipline, although grenades are always fun. Having a higher resilience, which is what the Titan's class ability runs off of, would get this up more. And recovery, of course, as usual, the Warlock gets a better version, although just a 1 point off in the strength. It's a pretty balanced stat roll. This one would plug in pretty much with everything else, but I think the Claws of Ankara, it really depends on your playstyle. If you are a melee person, this would be a good item to pick up. I am a melee person. I've always been a melee person, even since I played a Titan. Fists don't run out of ammo, but you do get uncharged and charged melees. I know there's another point I have with the swords and stuff. I mean, glaives have an uncharged attack that's pretty lethal still, but swords are kind of like just a clunk, you know? I mean, I think swords should have a baseline lethal damage, do lethal damage baseline, and then the charged version, with the ammo, it gets a special effect, like, chain lightning or stunning or something like that. Like an electrified sword. It's still a sword. You can still take an arm off, but when it's electrified, even a grazing blow has a chance to do something. I think that's swords should be rebalanced. But what am I saying? I mean, I'm not a Bungie dev. I have not the ear of anybody who has the ear of the Bungie developers. So who knows? Zen Moment and Sympathetic Arsenal. This is actually a really good. Reloading after final blow reload stowed weapons. This is nice. And Cold Denial is not bad. It's an Amalon archetype. You're going to get ricochet rounds? Damn. I would pick this up if I wasn't already running with the Amit. This is a kinetic slot weapon, though. So, let me see. I'm running with Old Sterling, which is a 600, and I like fast fires. Come on, give me up. Yeah, 345. 340 is not really all that good. But I mean, still a solid choice if you're looking for something to fill in the kinetic slot. Triple tap and mulligan kind of works against each other. Missing a shot has a chance to return ammo directly. But I don't know. Well, this is kind of like what I call a 5th edition roll. In other words, you're never going to fail. If you put a counterbalance mod on that, it just really spikes up the recoil direction to this. So missing a shot's not going to be happening very often. But when it does, and it will, because Destiny likes to roll ones for you. Wellspring, that's not bad. And surplus. Now this is kind of fun. You'll get increased handling, reload speed, and stability when you're fully charged abilities. And if you're not fully charged abilities, killing things with this gun will go ahead and charge them up for you. Nice. That's actually a pretty good balance. Flared Magwell makes everything even more pretty. Again, I would go with a counterbalance mod, or possibly even an Icarus, because you got a 90 on that recoil direction already. I would say, for me, because I don't like to shoot from the air too much, I would go with a counterbalance. Versus Gambit, I would probably do either a boss spec or a major spec. Also with hard-hitting two-burst fire, yeah, you could probably even go full stream, shoot it like an SMG, because at 325, that's pretty damn good. Polygonal rifling is excellent for that stability. Not quite the laser beam that I have in my hands already, but still decent. Cartesian coordinate, oh my god, this was always my favorite. This was my favorite for such a fucking long time. It's got a reload speed on it, which is kind of worthless. I would rather have something else. Like something that bumps handling, something that bumps impact, maybe something that bumps, stability, perhaps. Because, I mean, it's a shotgun, basically. It's an energy-based shotgun. Swashbuckler is fun, and Under Pressure is fun. These are good combos. This is a nice... I would definitely go Crucible with this. Not going to be surprised if I see a lot of it in the Crucible. In fact, you know what? Recoil direction 52. Let me see what's my stand-in right now. I put backup mag on this, which was a fucking stupid choice. I have Wellspring and Firmly Planted on this one, and I'm still leveling it. It's got a charge rate of 500. I think the Cartesian's a little faster. No, it's the same. So it kind of runs about the same. But I do roll solar so much more than I do anything else anymore. Except for when I'm pigeonholed into shit. See, Threaded Needle, Demolitionist, and Rangefinder. I'm not a fan of Rangefinder anymore as I used to be, but still. Gnawing Hunger and Rampage. Now, Zen Moment. Ooh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, this is a good roll right here. And Arrowhead breaks on the Nasty. Yeah. Okay, look at that stability. Yeah, you can pump this guy. You know what? Fuck it, I'm going for it. I'll buy that. And, let me see. Seven Seraph Shotgun. I don't think I have a craftable version of this yet. Not really. That's not a good standout. Threaded Needle is actually pretty nice, but, I mean, we're doing other things here. Okay, down here, the armor. Wow, that's a good roll. That's a good roll. 63 is decent. 62. You want to start picking up stuff that's 60, 65, or higher, like this. That's really nice. That's really nice. I think if you bought the whole set, you'd be pushing triple centuries. With a few mods, you could do it. I don't think I have enough legendary shards to test that out, but, And then, of course, Xenology. I'm going to pick that up. These guys are always good choices if you just need to fill in a spot here in your kinetics, but I'm not going to lie good. Alright, so the standout exotic today, I would say, would be... I would say the Claws of Halankara. If you're playing, the three classes, which of course I don't, I would definitely go. Even though this has got a 67 on it with a high discipline, that's a really high discipline. I'd say this is probably the better of the three choices. Orpheus is just very middling, very very middling. If you don't have the Graviton, buy the Graviton. Weapon standouts, I would say the only one I'd buy is probably the Gnawing Hunger. Mostly because it synergizes with the artifact mods. Right now, you've got this ability here. Oops, wrong item. You can get a reduction in weapon mods by using the authorized mods Void. And I'm running Solar right now with special ammo finders, but like Solar Loader. Oh, I do have a Void Loader there. And I have a Void Unflinching. I'm using. Normally I would go ahead and do one of each of my faves, which would be Arc, Solar, and Void. Um, but yeah, so we'll see how that plays out. This is going to be fun to run. This is going to be fun to run. Let's go ahead and bump this up while we're doing this, and then I'm going to call it. And at this point, I'm going to say thanks for stopping by. You guys can bail. At this point, there's not going to be much more happening. I'm going to run a lost sector for my gunsmith bounties, and then fuck off to Conan Exiles because I got things to do. Becoming a dark sorcerer. Blah, 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 blah. Nice. This is going to be a very moist gun. Yeah, I would definitely spec it like this too. I wish these guys were interchangeable. Because I don't know. So many times I just forget to oh, I'm playing Gambit. Oh, I'm playing Crucible. There's no Gambit tracker. I don't know what Gambit tracks on. I think Gambit just tracks itself. Whatever. Okay, well, that's going to do me, guys. Thanks again. And I got moiked somehow. What the fuck? By a Raya rifle. So cute.